Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
But inside is so delightful.
It's Christmas in July.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Looks great.
Season 8.
Bum.
Bum. That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And Jacob Wild, too.
And can you guys believe we're on the 8th season of Christmas in July? My God, what is this? Where does the time go? I feel old. I don't know what we're gonna do for season 10, man, but we should go all out for something. I don't know. We should start figuring out some sort of big theme for that. Anyways, so let's not waste any time. We've got a really good one to start with. We've got 6 selections underneath the proverbial Christmas tree this year. And we're starting things out with DuckTales, Last Christmas. All right. So let's see. We have Honeybee in the comments also. Hey there, Honeybee. I believe, Honeybee, is this your first Christmas in July with us? Because it's a tradition. A long-running tradition. All right, folks. So, what are y'all thoughts on this episode? Just to kind of start out.
Dragon.
Yeah, I rather liked it. You know, it's I finished watching the DuckTales series lately, and having binged all 3 seasons, inch by inch, so to speak, it was a solid watch. I really kind of warmed up to the 2017 DuckTales, and I think the holiday episodes were really impressive, particularly this one, and kind of how it takes the traditional kind of Christmas Carol thing and spins it on its head in kind of that DuckTales fashion. So it was quite the treat, quite the holiday treat.
Yeah, I remember being quite pleased with this when it first aired. It's still some of the best Donald stuff I think we ever got in terms of just like developing his character and what makes him different from like other interpretations of Donald.
Yeah, this one sounds like Don Cheadle
and obviously this, yeah, right. And obviously this has a lot of a lot of tease. It was basically a really big tease up to Della, because I believe at the time we've only gotten like little bits and hints of Della, and this was like the first time we're really seeing her at all.
Yeah.
So that was big. But yeah, Dragon, I agree with you. I think the Christmas story thing is really fun. I love Jack McGrayer as the villainous ghost of Christmas Present. I find him really fun. Past. My bad. Yeah, overall it's a damn good time. I really do think it's one of those DuckTales episodes that really kind of stands out.
Of the 2 main Christmas episodes, I think as much as I like Hugh Bonneville as Santa, the next one I think this one is I think this one has like an overall better concept of an execution, if you ask me, compared to the one in season 3. Not that was bad or anything, of course.
All right. Go ahead, Jacob.
It's like overall, it's a very fun episode. I mean, it had like played up to all the strengths of what makes a DuckTales episode good, and as you said, provides a great twist on like the reason why these people are hanging out with Scrooge in the first place. So we'll get into it, but overall, very solid episode.
Okay, folks. So what we do here with Christmas in July is we kind of just the missile underneath the microscope gimmick is
mistletoe. It's not missile. You keep saying missile under the microscope. It's mistletoe.
Okay, Jesus, I'm sorry. That's a dumb oversight on my part. My bad. Okay, so the mistletoe underneath the microscope, it's not just a clever figure of speech. It's basically how we operate here on Christmas in July. We do a deep dive, folks. We really get down into the nitty gritty, covering the tropes, really basically going beat by beat through these things. So with that in mind, let's start with we got Claude Karinga in the comments too. He says he loves the DuckTales Christmas episode. Yeah, Claude, I also apologize for not roping you into a few of these. It's been a crazy couple days, and as I said, I kind of assumed you were having microphone issues. So hopefully, Claude, next week for Monsters at Work and Rick and Morty, we can get you back on board for the stuff we're doing, assuming your mic issues are fixed. I feel bad for leaving you on the sidelines with this stuff, Claude. But happy to have you in the comments, though. All right, so yeah, we start with the DuckTales theme song, but very holiday-ized.
I love the holiday themed version. It's so
Life is like a candy cane.
Yes.
It's very Sinatra-esque. I like it.
Oh yeah.
All right, so after that, we have Donald very festively decorating, the yard of McDuck Manor, and he's got this like inflatable snowman, and with the kind of the string of lights on the ground, and he already gets like, "Get that inflatable abomination off my lawn!"
But then he does provide a good reason, because I have a pilot who doesn't know the difference between landing lights and Christmas lights.
Which is a really
Okay,
great.
I wonder if this is like a vague shade thrown at Christmas with the Cranks, where Frosty was like a big plot point.
Well, it's a
I
snowman,
doubt it,
so
but it'd be fun.
I'm gonna say no.
All right, well, still, giant snowman, chalk it up to the tropes.
Yes, you're right about
Decorating giant snowman, lights, yada yada. All right,
Yes,
big
I
tropes
do.
right off the bat.
I do love I love the fact that we have the plane crash off screen. I thought that was a really great choice.
All the while, Donald just scrambling to take the lights off.
I'm sure the animators love that one too. Plus, we get to black out the scene for a second, so that's
Right.
Meanwhile, on the inside, decorations all around. We're decorating the tree. Jot that down. Webby.
Oh yeah.
Webby's decorating the tree, kind of adventurous
With
style.
novelty ornaments.
And only gets to the bottom of the tree.
Yep.
I have some notes about ornament distribution.
Yes. We have Duckworth, the Duckworth ghost.
Duckworth ghost.
Ooh, he's dead.
Dragon, do you know about Jacob and I's little Duckworth's ghost running joke?
I have not the foggiest.
Yeah.
Jacob, would you like to explain it really quick?
Well, long story short, like we were hyped before he officially appeared in the show. We were basically like hyped up as like, oh, he's gonna be like the most looking like he's being like terrifying. He's gonna be haunt our nightmares.
Basically, we were being very hyperbolic about like, oh my god, Duckworth's ghost is going to be like the most intense character that's ever been on an animated show. He's just going to haunt your dreams, man.
But instead, he's just a floating butler.
He's just going to burrow his way into the crevices of your soul and just stay there.
He's going to be scared than anything on Gravity Falls, etc., etc.
All right. Okay, but yeah, indeed, he's just, he just very scarily, he's just like, ooh, I'm going to put the star on the tree.
Let's see. So Louis trying to bargain with Santa as he's writing out his letters. Like, let me explain this.
Letters to Santa.
Dear Santa, look, I can explain.
Yep.
I think that'd be a good T-shirt. That'd be a good Christmas T-shirt.
I think it's a T-shirt that kind of already exists.
Just Dear Santa, I can explain.
I could swear I've seen somebody wearing that in real life.
It's a Scrooge, as you expect. He's on an anti-Christmas tear and just living up to his namesake. I just love that I think it's such a clever idea and a great subversion of like, okay, well, logically, Scrooge would probably not like Christmas, just given who he is, and
also the shout out to Christmas on Bear Mountain.
Yeah, so Beakley's saying, Beakley's coming in and saying, we got the, basically got the schedule down packed. Christmas Day's gonna be ready here. Then we're gonna have the annual screening of Christmas on Bear Mountain.
I love how Beakley is very much in the holiday spirit, but in her own kind of, military way.
Yeah, it's very militaristic, yes, and has the cryptid traps set to avoid another sugar plum fairy.
Oh God.
Like they probably just got their dust everywhere, and she had to clean it for days.
So back to Scrooge on his tear, like crass commercialism. Festive, he's like that runs into the festive mousetraps. I love how they're festive though. Festive mousetraps. Great. It's
the inflatable Santa.
Yes, he's got a great disdain for Santa Claus, and of course, what does he run into? This giant dancing Santa Claus. Who put this up? I loved. Of course, David Tennant's always been one of the greatest.
I also love that the giant dancing Santa happens to be a polar bear.
Well, no, that's what Santa is later on, so he has to be a polar bear.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. Yeah,
Really quick, I have to address a militaristic view of Christmas preparation. I would chalk that up to a trope.
Yep.
All right, just throwing that out there.
Yeah,
Anyways.
of course, yeah, man. I've always loved David Tennant. The fact that we got him for this show, and I love just how intimidating it gets, and it's just so funny that later on we're going to see the origin of the Santa grudge in the second holiday special. So that's just really great.
And we also get him to see him here say, "Bah humbug."
And I love Webby basically voicing the audience. He said it. He said it.
Yeah.
So Scrooge is going to bed.
Cue the Leonardo DiCaprio point. All right.
Yep. All right. So Dewey, meanwhile, he's he's kind of lamenting his mother being in space, and again, I think it points to the early season, like season 1, I suppose, and at least the top of season 2. Dewey had stuff to do. Then season 3 is completely self-parody. It's he just says.
Yeah, I agree. I really love Dewey in season 1. I don't dislike him in season 3, but I definitely think he got less nuanced as the show went on.
Yeah, I mean, I just parenthetically, I kind of realized I hate Ben Schwartz, and I just kind of happened upon that. Oh my god, I think I hate Ben Schwartz.
You're only doing that because of the freaking Ned thing.
No. I'm only half. I put in the words because of the Ned thing, but I realized after that was said, I look back and I think every time Ben Schwartz pops up, I kind of hate him.
Don't be mean. He's all right.
He's a nice guy.
We're never going to get Ben Schwartz on the podcast.
I don't hate him personally.
He's actually the one who organized the cast singing the theme song.
Yeah, right? Come on. All right. Anyways.
All right. Anyway. So, let's see. So his point being, good Dewey, though. These are the good Ben Schwartz. So, Dewey here, he's lamenting over his mother's in space. We set up Donald in the Christmas sweater, which of course a trope, but also pay off later on.
Sure.
Let's see. So he's.
No, I love Donald with the guitar,
which is also set up.
Would a kid being upset on Christmas also be considered a trope?
Yeah, mopiness around the Christmas melancholy. Absolutely.
So Donald's inviting him for carols, and I'm not in a merry mood. Well, if you change your mind,
Christmas carols trope.
Yep.
Later, he also sings it in Spanish.
Yeah, it's a little Caballeros reference. Yes. I like almost like I think the 2017 DuckTales on the whole, and I think the special kind of gets into it. I think the most kind of goofy movie we ever get with Donald Duck, in this show, we get kind of the most kind of heartfelt moments, the most kind of realistic kind of guardianship kind of bits. Like, Donald kind of realizing, I kind of stepped into it this time. He's missing his mother. I'm coming in here saying, hey, Christmas carols. He's feeling bad about it.
Yeah, I really love Donald in this episode. I think this is a wonderful Donald episode.
It is.
I mean, just in general, I feel like Donald was a little underwritten throughout the show, but man, when he had moments, he had moments.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Claudia's getting a little impatient, so we should let's tee it up. So there's a green glow as Dewey is lamenting here, and he sees this green glow around Scrooge's windows. So he barrels in. He finds Scrooge is being visited by 3 ghosts, but they're partying
and chugging eggnog.
Yeah, nog, yeah.
Nog.
Exactly. So they're having a grand old time, and Scrooge he starts to chew them out.
Would eggnog be considered a trope?
Absolutely,
yes, absolutely, no doubt.
It's got a whole subcategory. Yes,
right.
Fair enough.
All right, so Scrooge is caught, so he's chewing out the specters, telling him to get out of there. But then he realizes, okay, the jig's up. Okay, so we have a great cast for our ghosts, by the way. So as Claudia's pointed out in the comments, Ghost of Christmas Past, voiced by the wonderful Jack McBrayer. Fix it Felix himself, kids.
I love how it's like a vague allusion to the Jiminy Cricket Ghost of Christmas Past.
Of course, we can't villainize Jiminy Cricket, so we have to change it.
Yeah, exactly.
And Bill Fagerbakke voices Ghost of Christmas Present.
Yes. Kind of as a pig, but yeah. And we have a Ghost of Christmas Future, who is, let's see. Oh, yeah, so he's a very Grim Reaper type, but a cool Grim Reaper type. I love he's a lot more, he's kind of less gloom and doom. He's getting the hands.
Yeah, exactly. He's kind of the cool goth kid in the room.
He's actually nicer than past.
Yeah,
which is kind of fun considering who voices past.
I know. Crazy how that works. All right, so then, long story short, Scrooge gets into an explanation of years ago they.
So I love how this is just kind of like randomly throwing Mickey's Christmas Carol into the continuity.
I mean, yes, yeah, vaguely. We already have some slight nods to with Jack McBrayer's, Jiminy Cricket.
I mean, honestly, Scrooge is so old that like he could have lived in Victorian London.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, it's like that is entirely possible.
Yeah, you should see his parents, though. His parents are
it's like his explanation. I love the explanations.
Yes.
All year, I have family, business, keeping the world eating stuff with Jormungandr at bay. Which I love the payoff to that episode. Payoff, which we get later.
Oh yeah. So
Cloud points out the theory I made about Ghost of Christmas Future being Pete. Cloud, that theory was from the original Mickey's Christmas Carol, right? And yeah, I think that theory absolutely sticks for sure.
Well, it was Pete though.
Yeah, in the original. But...
Yeah, in the original, it was Pete. So what's
what I'm saying is he's saying that in this one it was supposed to be Pete, but
but a dead version of Pete.
Yeah, exactly. That's my theory.
I don't buy it. All right. So
fair enough. I mean, we never saw Pete.
Well, it's also
we saw Goofy, but we did see Pete.
Well, here's something. Just call me crazy here. The Ghost of Christmas Present was a giant and not a pig. So,
yeah. All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so we hear years ago.
Really, the giant to be exact. Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, so years ago, they accidentally haunted Scrooge's house because they got the wrong
They
Scrooge,
were looking for the wrong Scrooge.
Which is hilarious. Just love that.
I mean, you think they would have realized that Scrooge was his first name and the guy they're looking for, Scrooge, was his last name?
Yeah.
Okay, what other anthropomorphic Christmas Carol can we think of that they were going to?
Mr. Magoo? Oh, wait, no, anthropomorphic. Never mind.
Anthropomorphic, specifically.
God.
I can't really think of anthropomorphic Christmas carols.
Yeah.
Anyone in the comments got anything?
By all means, folks, we'll take suggestions. All right.
Anthropomorphic Christmas carols? All right.
Anyway, so of course, Scrooge here, he plays. So the idea is that Scrooge, all this time in the beginning of the episode here, he plays up hating Christmas just to get alone time and decompress for the holidays away from his family responsibilities. With one exception, though, he does truly despise Santa Claus, which is great, and again, pays off in the other episode.
A churlish chimney chaser must never be trusted.
Great. I just need a break. So boys, and
we were on a break.
Sorry. That's relatable.
Yeah. All right, so again, this is a very we have an odd Scrooge in this case. Usually, we have the running trope of there's always a Scrooge in these holiday episodes, and technically, Scrooge is our Scrooge. It may be weird if he wasn't,
But even then, he's not really.
I know he's not really the Scrooge. I think technically, Ghost of Christmas Past is the Scrooge, which is still
I
kind
would
of
say
weird
so.
saying,
Yes, I would say Ghost of Christmas Past is the Scrooge.
Weird how that works, right?
Yeah.
Right, speaking of Ghost of Christmas Past, what happens next?
Oh, let's see. So Ghost of Christmas Past, this is where he basically just says that they're going to go around to a bunch of Christmas parties throughout history,
a time traveling Christmas party crawl.
Yes.
Exactly. Which I love the concept of, man. I love that concept.
Claudia throws out suggestion Muppets. Technically the Muppets, the Scrooge is an anthropomorphic, everyone else is, though.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I can't see this specific crew being on their way to visiting the Muppets. I'm thinking more animated.
Well, I got nothing. All right. So, so we they all grab a hold and they
fucking
go
Garfield.
Well, no, they didn't do one of those.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't do a Christmas Carol.
Yeah, they did Holiday Heatwave, which was even better.
All right.
Great. Anyway, so so basically we go to the past, and the effect we have on the past where everything just kind of fades away when we go back in time here. And so we basically did a big old circle as we're back at McDuck Manor. What are we doing here? This is where we started. So we learned this is basically McDuck Manor in the 60s, mid to late 60s.
and like how Scrooge is like basically just like he's seen everything when he just casually greets his future self. Like
I love that bit.
Future me, past me.
Great.
It's like what are paradoxes? Like Scrooge is just so casual he doesn't even care.
He's like someone sit Doc Brown down and just like show him this. Like, see, nothing bad happens if you say hello to yourself. It's fine. Just be all cordial. That's all. Don't be like, I'm old like Jennifer. Don't do that. Anyway, so so we're walking in. This is basically the first McDuck Enterprises Christmas soiree, and it's all carefree, and things were brimming with hope, and it seems like be like a great party,
except for the buzzards or the vultures.
Yeah, well, they didn't know yet.
So we got Agent 22 doing her thing.
Who goes to Ford with the Ghost of Christmas Future?
Which I think is great, and I love that we have that line. I love the Christmas present has eyes on her, but obviously it's never going to happen. It's like, gots to dance with that lady.
But I love how Duckworth is basically being Scrooge's Alfred of you have to, you're here to, to tend to your business.
Yes, here's a network, sir.
And then that just basically leads to Bradford and company just being like, no.
Like having a party that's both holly and jolly is fiscally irresponsible.
And I love how it's like we're so far from the end of the show that it's like we have no idea who Bradford even really is at this point.
Nope.
Well, we did see him like briefly throughout the show, but like he didn't get much characterization until season 3.
Yeah, which was great characterization, but
yeah.
All right, okay, let's see. So, so again, 22 not falling for any of Christmas Present's pickup lines, but digs the heck out of Christmas Future. Goes for a conga line with them.
I mean, he's tall, dark, and handsome, man. What can you do?
Well, I think the obvious gag here is that Beakley flirts with death. I think that's kind of the obvious joke.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that makes sense.
All right, so let's see. So Scrooge is he's kind of questioning the Christmas past here, like why would you go to a party? What good is a party if I have to work?
Mm-hmm.
And Present wants to leave because he's striking out with the ladies. And Christmas Future's the only one living it up at this party. Like, this party's death. And of course, we just have him give him the thumbs up. Like, yeah, it is death. And it's going great for me. Like, don't screw this up.
But it is kind of a hint at past more controlling attitude.
So we have a great subversion that happens here. Okay, we're thinking, well, just come and stick around, mingle. So Scrooge is mingling, and then he sees Goldie, kind of his Bell figure in this case, I suppose, kind of framed like
absolutely.
Bell.
We think we're gonna have like another like kind of sweeping romantic moment.
Yeah, we completely subvert that. He keeps getting pulled away by everyone at the party.
While she pockets something for herself.
I love that detail.
That's fun.
This is a cute little joke. You guys remind me, because it's been a while since I've seen. I'm fresh on the third season. The other season's just on this character, Rhett Bettler. Is that what we call him here?
Rhett Bettler.
Rhett Bettler. Thank you. And of course, it's an homage. I know the homage being Rhett and Butler, but it was a character in the show. Otherwise, have we seen this guy anywhere else?
No, this is basically. This is pretty much the only time he ever appears in this series. It's basically just
it's just like a one-off Gone with the Wind parody.
Yeah, okay.
It's like Gone with the Wind combined with the famous Lost in the Andes story.
Yeah, sure, that's cool. Okay, I was just curious. All right, so we have him speaking of the Andes. He wants an expedition to Andes funded because Tiki, what did he find?
I don't know, Dragon. What did he find?
Square rocks.
A square
rocks.
A perfectly square rock.
A perfectly square rock.
The prototype for the Rubik's Cube, one could say. The boring version.
Folks, here we go. Products. Folks, square rock.
Folks, do you want to mix together your two nostalgic loves of the wonderful Rubik's Cube and the beloved pet rock? You want to roll them together. You want to just see just perfect symmetry and cubism, and just want to see it put on a shelf. Like, I'm saying, if this thing were glowing in blue, you'd call it a tesseract because it's so engaging. There's a space within spaces on your shelf for this. You just gotta put it there right between your books. You can use it as a paperweight. It's multi-purpose. It's cute. It's cuddly. It's square in all the best non-boring ways. And all you gotta do is go to the Andes for it. You can write Andy on the bottom of this.
Did you write that down, or did you just come up with it?
I just came up with it.
I'm impressed. All All right.
Anyway, okay, yes. Point being, so people want money from Scrooge, and Scrooge makes a note of this. Even back then, all they wanted was my money. Oh, that's not true, Scrooge. Of course, Jack Barry doing it much better than I am right now. Basically saying, oh, it's not true. And of course, the Beagle Boys just crash through the party.
Some people want to rob you.
Exactly.
It's like it's not really much better.
Nope. And I like the subversion here where you think, okay, Scrooge's going to go after the Beagle Boys for an action sequence, which I don't really want to sit through. And we didn't sit through. I was impressed by that. I didn't want to we're going to derail things to go after the Beagle Boys again.
Yeah, I felt that. I was like, oh boy, here we go, Beagle Boy. But it's like, no, we very much streamline it.
Yeah, and then they I love how they steal with the Christmas presents. They steal literally Christmas presents. They carry them out the door. Like, I'm gonna go with this party crawl, guys. So the party's over.
Let's just face it. President could probably just get out of there if he wanted to.
Yeah, of course. So let's see. So Christmas passed. He begs for one more shot. Let me take you to one more Christmas, please. So we go to his first Christmas in Duckburg, which is
all right. Now, I thought this started out really nice. I thought that this was a really cool, kind of cool villain twist where it starts out and it's a really nice sentiment. It's just kind of like Scrooge alone in the woods, nothing but the world in front of him. I don't know. I kind of got like a vibe from the Solitude a little bit.
Yeah, it's almost like kind of like a World War II Christmas, It's like
exactly.
It's by the snow tent, a little fire going on. I just love these great subversion, the realization here of like, we gave him the quiet Christmas he's looking for. Christmas kills. This is boring.
And of course, as we learn, past isn't having any of that.
Yep, and we
it's a good villain turn, man.
Yeah, it's great that we hit the lesson at the halfway point of the episode, and we just have this great turn of like, I've learned my lesson, Spectre. I shouldn't be fixated on the frustrations. I should go to the family and everything. Take me home, Spectre. Just no, not going to do it. No.
I never thought I would see Jack McBrayer be intimidating, but I mean, he kind of does it. He kind of pulls off both charming and intimidating at the same time here.
That he does.
I mean, especially if you're familiar with this various other works, especially like Wander. It's like Wander, you're hearing Wander go off the deep end.
Right, exactly.
It's like seeing Fix-It Felix just go completely nuts. But yeah, I love the motivation for him though. Is the idea year after year he finds these Scrooges and it's like he fixes their problems, and it's these selfish ingrates. I teach them the meaning of Christmas. Next year they ditch me because they have to look after Tiny Tim. I think it's possibly the best line of the episode. They have to look after Tiny Tim.
Yeah, it's like yeah, well, of course they're won't be with their family after you show them that.
Yeah. So Scrooge was different. Your name is always Scrooge. There's no change in that. But it's like you always came back, but then your family moved in. I love this. I love how we see Scrooge. He gets incensed, like, "Hey, don't talk about my family, you little ghost, you."
Yeah, that's always one thing that remains consistent with Scrooge. I mean, yeah, it's basically insult him all you want, but no one insults his family.
Oh no, you don't do that.
So in other words, he's like the serious version of Dominic Toretto.
If that helps, Tiki, yes.
I'll pretend I understood that reference.
So the two fight. Let's say the two fight, and it's.
He tricks Pass into oh, you're nostalgic for a fight that just happened.
Very crafty on Scrooge's part. This is an amazing fight. It's a shame we can't do it over again.
Remember, smarter than the smarties and tougher than the toughies.
That's how we got all that. That's how we got that giant money bin full of just a giant pool of gold. Anyway, so then we restart the fight, and Scrooge just swiped the little time-brella and just leaves past there to Stu. Get back here! Get back now! I mean,
time.
I think he justifiably leaves that little jerk there. He was like, leave him there. Yeah.
Yeah, but we see that it did have its consequences, as we'll learn later on.
It did. I mean, that's fair, though. I mean, you left him. There's going to be some revenge, but it's like he deserved it. He deserved to wait there for roughly, maybe 70 years.
Something like that.
No, not 7. I'm sorry, not 70. It's 2. I'm thinking 40. Sorry. Probably be
at least 30 years.
30 to 50. Yeah, I mean this is like late 60s. So I'm just trying to think. Yeah, DuckTales was 2017, so it's anyway.
He said like it was like his first Christmas in Duckburg.
Oh right, no, you're right. It was longer. Actually, it could be this. It could be 70. It could be more than 70 years. Who knows? Who knows when they first got that Duckburg? I don't know.
And then Donald and Della like have almost been explicitly confirmed to be alive in at least the 90s or something.
Yeah, well, I'm saying when we see him as kids here, that's in the 60s, so that's as far as
Guys, it really doesn't matter that much. So it's like 30 or 40 years, give or take a decade or two. All right.
Point being a long time. Okay.
Yeah.
And only on Christmas Eve.
Yes. All right. So we go back and we link up with what Dewey was doing.
Okay, I really like this meta gag because I feel like in a way this episode feels like it feels like two episodes kind of stitched together through this meta gag of like 11 minutes ago in the future. Where it's like each segment would literally be 11 minutes long. You know what I mean? Like they literally like cut this up where it's basically two episodes in one with like the with the framing device of the Ghost of Christmas Past kind of like linking it together.
Yeah.
So I thought that was clever. All right. So here's where we get into the really good stuff. I mean, I enjoyed the Scrooge stuff, but this Dewey stuff was really great.
Yeah. He finally gets to go back, and first thing he meets is his rebellious uncle.
Yes, young Donald.
I finally get to spend time with some weird emo kid.
And
Louie on you.
Okay, so Donald with the out-of-tune guitar is like the most adorable thing I've ever seen, and I want a plush of it so bad.
Let me tell you what's really sweet about this.
And one of Russi Taylor's last appearances is Donald.
I know, man. It's a good way to go out.
Here's what I really like about it. I love the fact that we took the original voice of Huey, Dewey, and Louie with one of the original kind of like your go-tos for Huey, Dewey, and Louie before we got the idea with this show to differentiate them. And kind of make that the voice of the young Donald Duck. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, I think that's really, really appropriate.
It's a classy move.
Taylor's last roles. Yeah,
very classy move.
Of
course, she had a few roles after this, but this is definitely a poignant one.
Sure.
All right, so Dewey's bumping into the young Donald here, and he has to come up with a kind of a lie here. Just basically the whole deal. It's Bluey, and I'm a distant Canadian cousin.
I think Donald basically didn't buy it from the very beginning.
Nah, he doesn't really care.
I mean, he said he's like this is the most confusing family.
Yeah.
but I said I think he honestly didn't buy it from at all.
It's just to see how diametrically opposite Donald is from where he's in the present. So, again, obviously the emo kind of kid who can't play a guitar, but beyond that, Dell's camping out looking for Santa Claus, and Donald's outgrown Christmas. Donald loves Christmas.
It's like basically
okay. So I love this setup of Della camping out, looking for Santa, and Donald moping. It's a great Christmas setup, man. I love it.
All right, so Dewey wants a little family reunion. He's been dying to see his mother, so he basically tricks Donald, grabs the guitar, follow me. So he forces him to go to the campsite, and the campsite is kind of a crime scene at the moment. Something bad happened here. Everything's all torn up. Look at all there's a stain on the tree, which for a moment you think is blood, but Donald just licks it and it's jelly. Thank goodness it's jelly. Otherwise, I don't think we'd be able to get away with that on television.
Yeah, wouldn't that be a dark twist?
Yep.
That's what happened to Della.
Yep.
And I love how he's like, what would you have done if it wasn't?
Oh God.
We get all dark and heady of hey, what actually got her killed there? She saw a little light in the sky of someone falling when they were time traveling.
Oh no! Oh God!
Yeah, someone who wasn't supposed to be there, who just kind of fell, versus the usual ghost that passed through here. I wonder.
All right. Oh God! Wow.
Anyway.
Okay. Anyways.
They sort of get that dark until the finale.
No, yeah, you're right. They don't. Okay, so we find some giant monster tracks with Della's, which is a cause for concern, so they search for her. And what they find is her scarf.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. She wouldn't go anywhere without that scarf. She loves that scarf, man. It's part of her character design.
I love the fact that it's Donald's last Christmas gift to her.
Yes.
That's a great little detail. All right, and then randomly, we get this show loves its cryptids. We get The Wendigo.
See, I'll never
Randomly, just out of nowhere. Hey, Wendigo. All right.
See, I'll never.
Would just provide like a good clue if you listen closely to how he's saying Wendigo.
Wendigo.
Right.
The thing I'll never forget the Wendigo just in general because it was in the Hulk versus Wolverine first appearance. It was like Wolverine's first appearance. He goes up against a Wendigo. It's always going to be
really?
there.
That's
Yeah, it's the whole
What's kind of interesting though is that the real version of Wendigo is actually, I mean, as in real world mythology, is quite a bit different from the one they used in here.
Yeah, they actually kind of mixed him with
no
Krampus a little bit. If you look in the design, he's a little Krampus-like, which is cool.
But
I'm honestly surprised there hasn't been like a James Wan or someone like that tackling an actual Wendigo movie.
Well,
It's a pretty popular subject.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of a good thing that they didn't go with the way the mythology works for Wendigos. I mean, I like this explanation, but I don't think they could have gone away with cannibalism.
Well, no, Wendigo is a very dark creature, yeah.
Then again, when your most of your cast are ducks and fowl, then again, cannibalism would. I mean, it'd be like the Peanuts has like a little kind of cannibalism if you look at it in that terms. You know, it's kind of.
But yeah, like,
Still be sick and wrong.
But even then, going mad from isolation is still kind of dark too.
Well, you're right about that. Well, then again, we saw that with Donald, though. He gets stuck on the island. But let's not get too distracted. The point being, Wendigo, it's cool looking.
Yes.
All right. So, they run. They're kind of dodging through the trees and everything. Then they get ensnared in a trap.
A Santa trap.
Yes, by Della. So we have the big Della reveal. Like, oh
yeah,
my god,
this is big, man. I remember just kind of freaking out when I saw this for the first time.
Young Della.
Yeah. It's a big moment for Dewey meeting his mother.
Indeed. Like, I love that we got so much interaction here. Like, they could have just teased it, but no, it's like this is a big first appearance for Della. She gets a lot to do.
We have this sweet and twisted gesture of that Della has this Santa trap to capture Santa Claus for Uncle Scrooge as a Christmas gift, which I think is a really lovely gesture.
Yep, I mean, we know he would probably like that.
Yeah. So again, we have like the coveted gift. So yeah, there's that for a trope.
Indeed.
Well,
Right, so
staying up to catch Santa is another kind of trope.
Yep. All right, so we have the Wendigo is closing in, and Della exposits the Wendigo lore, which essentially is it's a poor lost soul that turns into a monster because it's obsessed and because of obsession or desperation. So a little foreshadow for later, like who is the Wendigo? Well, we'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
Donald's getting all antsy. He's calling her dumb Bella. She's cutting them fruits. Then adds tension of now Della's not happy about that. She might, as twisted as it sounds, she might let you get killed by the Wendigo. So thanks for that. So Donald has to apologize, but doesn't know what he's done wrong here. So it's like, I'm sorry I didn't. Sorry I didn't come out. Or sorry I called you dumb Bella, and then I'm sorry I didn't. I polished
I'm sorry I used my toothbrush to clean my combat boots.
He doesn't even wear boots.
She's even like, what?
Yep.
Yeah.
So Dewey pieces it together like, oh, she wanted the extra food, the family-sized tent, all this. The scarf. She wanted you to camp out with her, man, and you left her. What's wrong with you? And I basically realized, I'm paralleling myself to Donald's story now. I kept myself all locked up and away from family. I got apologies to make.
Wait, hold on. I'm coming to a realization here. Because of that arc, would that technically make Dewey the Scrooge?
I mean, kind of. I guess
it's a very light Scrooge.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's like there's you can say that's like. I mean, who's to say you're limited to one Scrooge per story?
Yeah, binary.
Well, we were going into fusion Scrooges for a while, but
that's the binary Scrooge. It's a two-part equation.
Yeah.
It's like they both have elements of Scrooge.
Yeah, right. There you go. Let our Scrooge powers combine.
Oh God! Fusion Scrooge.
Speaking of Scrooge, Della finally, after Donald sincerely apologized for what he's done, they figure out what exactly the Wendigo wants. Wendigo Scrooge, and they're all like, of course. course.
And technically, Wendigo Scrooge. There's one for you. You know, we have a Scrooge in the form of Wendigo, technically.
All right, so Donald gets his guitar broken, which leads to an epic freak out.
Yeah, he ain't happy, so he's temper.
Even back then, Donald had his.
I mean, I just love how it's animated, where he's just like whirling like all around the Wendigo and just tearing him up, like grabbing at his horns.
Basically, no force on this earth or anywhere else can stand up to an angry Donald.
Pretty much.
And also, Claudia says,
crack-a-rooney.
yeah. So Claudia says Scrooge is more of a Scrooge than the other DuckTales Christmas episode, and he's right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Dewey and Della, they kind of work up a little ensnarement of the, have the net set up to catch the Wendigo as Donald's like wailing away at it. So teamwork makes the dream work. So they drag it back to the mansion, and then we have this, this really beautiful, bittersweet moment. Donald promises Della that we'll never spend another Christmas apart, which is so heartbreaking when you think, oh, he doesn't know.
Dramatic irony.
Yes. So then Dewey hugs Della and basically spins, 15th step cousin sort of thing.
And they're like, yeah, you're a relative in the future, aren't you?
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
I love how they just call that out. Like, what? No.
It's like the fourth weirdest Christmas we've had, so it's got nothing.
And Donald's the one that points that out too. It's like, yeah.
Haven't you ever seen any movie?
Yeah, don't tell us about the future, man.
I mean, he has a good point.
He does. All right. The kids go to get Uncle Scrooge, but then the Wendigo frees itself, and
we almost get a great kind of like Merry Christmas Arnold type moment with him at the door with the snow and everything, but nope.
Nope.
And down comes Scrooge, utilizing moves from his game.
Yeah, pretty much.
So our Scrooge enters and basically takes out the Wendigo. Take that, you nostalgic night terror!
I still think I would like Shovel Knight and Smash mostly just because I feel like he could replicate the moveset of Scrooge McDuck quite well.
Well, this bit happened way early in the episode. I just got to get in there because the line just kind of reminded me of this. We had a really great tongue-in-cheek David Tennant kind of time travel joke. We're, of course, very well known for Doctor Who.
Indeed.
Oh, time travelers, just rolling his eyes at time travelers. All the jokes. Of like, where's not where, when, just rolls his eyes.
Oh,
like,
God.
yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. And, of course, Scrooge and his ever-growing list of alliterations.
Yep.
Indeed.
Okay, so before Scrooge starts to question Dewey, like, what are you doing here, laddie? And all that sort of stuff. Dewey just really nice moment. He just hugs Scrooge. Because cuts and short hugs him.
I really like this episode's got a super simple message of just like, being around each other for the holidays and how important that is. And I find that really charming.
Yeah, holiday moral, yes.
Yeah.
Just a question, can we please just go back to our family? I love the smile on Scrooge's face in reciprocation of like, yeah, we learned the same lesson.
Totally.
Yeah.
So we reveal the Wendigo.
And I just love how it's not like overly heavy-handed in this. Like they, Yeah.
So we reveal the Wendigo is Christmas past. Again, obsession, desperation, and also being trapped by Scrooge for decades in the woods.
I mean, that'll do it to you, man. That'll do it to you.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like with Loki, I'm kind of looking at a lot of stuff in new context. So it's like, this is basically like if someone dumped you into like a, like a Loki dimension, and then it's like, okay, stay here. Bye-bye.
Sure. Yeah. All right, let's see. So,
but yeah, like of course Wendigo, but of course he breaks free of the Wendigo's curse, and they all reconcile very quickly.
Yep, and I love this. He gives giving an old friend a present because no one should be left behind on Christmas. And of course, he gives him the old timbrella back. They're all in good terms. We return home to the big old Christmas party at McDuck Manor in kind of two timelines, if you will. 2 time periods. So we see the kids playing with a bear trap just because.
I love the running theme of Webby and dangerous weapons and stuff like that. It's very Maple-esque, but I think it's appropriate.
She loves her crossbow.
Indeed.
Donald says, "Welcome back."
Yeah, I love that. That was a nice little nod.
It's a real classy moment, you know. It's a
Uh-huh.
little time traveling of I remember you, kiddo. I remember.
Right.
Yep. I gotta tell you, there's a beautiful reveal before that moment where we go to the past for a second. We transition through the painting, which is cool too, where we have
Uh-huh.
them exchanging presents. Where Della got a scarf and she gave Donald a snowman Christmas sweater, which is the sweater he's been wearing the whole time.
Yeah.
Which adds, we've added sweater dimension, Christmas
Oh
sweaters.
God.
That's a trope too.
Yes.
Indeed.
All right, so then we have Launchpad. Now, here's an interesting thing I never caught before. Launchpad, I believe, is Jewish.
Is he?
People
I mean, he's wearing a
Yeah,
Hanukkah
you're right.
sweater.
He's got the menorah sweater.
I mean, that applies to me. Maybe he likes it, but maybe he is Jewish.
I mean, people have pointed out that either he's Jewish or he just picked the wrong sweater.
I mean, either way it works, but I'm just saying, might get a little dimensional. I never thought about it.
He's canon Jewish as far as I'm concerned.
I like that. I mean, Harley Quinn is. We haven't said it, but she is.
I mean, they said pointed out it wouldn't be too much of a stretch for him just to say like he picked up the wrong sweater by mistake. But
that's fair.
I mean, if it takes place on Christmas Eve, Hanukkah would be pretty much over by that point anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, so he's on the piano, basically butchering the 12 Days of Christmas.
Oh God!
with a nice shout out
to words.
With a shout out to Seven Samurai, which is nice.
Seven Samurai.
This is classic launch pad. You know, Scrooge and his ghostly pals are hanging out. Beakley's giving Future the eyes, flirting with death as she tends to do. And then we have and a cartridge of printer ink. Let's see. So then we're on the moon. We end on the moon.
Oh yeah, man! I remember this was huge at the time, bro. This was huge.
Della's alive on the moon.
On the moon.
Well,
on the fucking moon.
Well, we kind of knew that by the season 1 finale.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
To see her though, it's like, oh, there she is.
But the next episode, we did get to learn more about her. So.
Yeah, that was the whole moon-based episode for it, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's gonna be teed it up, and like again, it has the same picture that Dewey has that he's lamenting over, and it's like, "Merry Christmas, you guys. See you soon." And Mom's working on the repairs to get back to her babies.
You know what? I love how in the context of the whole series that actually it's nice to know that has a really, really good payoff.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just one of those things like, oh, it seems cool, but man, they're gonna butcher it. No, it's like it's genuinely a great story.
They bring it home. They bring it on home.
Yeah. So
and then we have like the holiday version of the credits and Bob's your uncle.
Which is also a nice shout out to the title card for Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I love the sketches. Yeah. That is great.
Heck, down to the fonts too.
Yeah.
All right. So final thoughts, guys.
Yeah, I think they pulled out all the stops for this Christmas episode. You know, it's a logical episode given Scrooge's namesake. We got to do at least one holiday episode in DuckTales. You know, if we're doing it again.
Especially considering the original DuckTales never did have a holiday episode.
You sure about that?
Yeah. I'm sure, Dragon. Right. I looked.
No, I'm just okay. I just want to make sure. Okay, so it's a strong lesson in the value of family. It's a fun glimpse at the old status quo of kind of '60s era. Kind of Duckburg and Scrooge, the Scrooge McDuck clan, if you will. The Dell of it all, quite heartfelt. Really added to the sentiment. A lot of strong kind of character stuff here. That again is not just like a little like, oh, it's a holiday episode. We're just going to sweep under the rug and get back to the action. It's like, there's a lot of it's a great respite, but also it's kind of teeing up things in a nice way. So it was a very strong holiday episode for sure.
All right, Jacob, final thoughts.
Like I said before, I mean, I pretty much would be repeating a lot of the things that Dragon said, but I mean, I actually like this one better than the next holiday episode. I mean, not that episode was bad at all, but I think this episode had like a bit better humor, better stakes, and like I think a more interesting kind of villain kind of thing, villain dynamic going on. And plus, we got to see the past with Della and Donald, which is a great dynamic, as we got to know.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is definitely of all. Okay, I think there's only like a few holiday special. The holiday episode's like a Halloween one, I believe. But if we count that, I think this is like the best one out of all of them. And obviously, there wasn't the closest thing we got to a holiday episode in season 1 was the Mountain Everest, which was a good episode, but not really Christmas themed. But so, like I said, I think this is like probably the best holiday episode of the entire show.
All right, so guys, let's count the tropes.
All right, let's see. So again, we had Christmas decorations.
Christmas decorations, the giant snowman, eggnog,
The Christmas
ornaments,
Great.
Christmas sweater, star on top of the tree. There you go. Christmas parties in multiple timelines.
A lot of Christmas Carol.
Be kind of
Christmas
disillusioned and bitter and melancholy on Christmas. Christmas ghosts.
Which is
We had a Scrooge. Technically, we had multiple Scrooges because we have Scrooge McDuck, who's not exactly our Scrooge. We had unconventional Scrooges in that regard. We made Christmas past the Scrooge.
Just in general. All right.
Hanukkah. We had Hanukkah
Oh
represented.
yeah, a little bit.
With that, we had like the butchered Christmas songs. I mean, that doesn't happen often, but we had it.
Christmas carols in general.
Sure.
Yep. I think that probably. Is there anything major you think we're missing, or is that bad? Oh, we had kind of a Krampus homage with the Wendigo. I mean, that's kind
A
of
little
there.
bit, I guess.
I mean, in the design, it's a visual.
It's like a Wendy Krampus.
Did we say giant dancing Santa or no?
No,
Yes.
not giant dancing Santa. No.
There you go, giant. Also,
All right.
Santa Grudge. Santa Grudge.
Santa Grudge. Okay. But Dragon, I think we got a dilemma, right?
Yeah, Tiki. I tell you, man. You know, we're 8 years into this. 8 years, and I'm in the darkest hour of my soul, man. I got plumb nothing. Just what the heck should we call this process? We just had like a zippy title, something we could put on T-shirts, man. Something that we could zhuzh up that summarizes what we do, is painstakingly picking apart the tropes and kind of the holiday patterns, much like the everglow of flashing Christmas tree lights. But we got nothing.
All right. Well, first off, big thanks to Claude Kringa and Honeybee for joining us in the comments. And second off, Dragon, I think I have a solution. Why don't we say putting the mistletoe underneath the microscope?
I like it.
All right. Next time on Christmas in July.
Fa la 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 la.
Wendigo.
Wendigo. Where'd he go? Wendigo.